The first time I noticed something was off, I told myself I was imagining things. My wife, Sophia, had always been the kind of woman who carried warmth in her smile and certainty in her touch. 5 years of marriage, and I still found myself stealing glances at her. The way her dark hair curled at the nape of her neck, the faint scent of jasmine that lingered on her skin. We had the kind of love people envied. Effortless, steady, secure, or so I thought. It started with the small things. One night, as I lay half asleep, I felt her slip into bed later than usual. Her body pressed against mine, but something felt different. Her perfume was heavier, spicier, unlike the soft floral notes she usually wore. When she kissed my shoulder, her lips lingered a second too long, her breath uneven. "Long day," I murmured, turning toward her. She stiffened, just slightly, before laughing, a sound that was hers, yet not quite. "Just tired," she whispered, her voice lower than usual. I wrote it off. Maybe she was exhausted. Maybe she'd changed perfumes. But then it happened again. The next night she was bolder. Her hands traced my chest with a hunger that felt unfamiliar, her touch almost studied, as if she were mimicking passion rather than feeling it. When I reached for her face in the dark, she turned away, murmuring something about being shy. Since when was Sophia shy? By the third night, my skin prickled with unease. She moved differently, her gait, the way she tilted her head. Even her laugh had a new cadence, sharp where it used to be warm. Was I losing my mind? Then, on the fourth night, I pretended to sleep. The bed dipped as she climbed in, her weight distributed oddly, her breathing too controlled. I waited, pulse hammering, until she thought I was deep in slumber. Then, silently, she slid back out of bed. My eyes cracked open just in time to see her silhouette retreating into the hallway. I followed. The bathroom light was on, the door slightly ajar. Hard in my throat, I edged closer, and then I saw it. A wig, clutched in trembling hands. A face in the mirror that wasn't Sophia's, but one I knew. My breath caught. What the hell was he doing here? Time froze as I stared at the reflection. My nephew Daniel's wide, guilty eyes locked onto mine in the mirror. His hands still clutched the auburn wig, Sophia's favorite, the curls spilling over his fingers like a grotesque parody. "Daniel!" My voice came out strangled. He spun around, nearly tripping over the silk nightgown pooling at his feet. Sophia's nightgown. The sight of him in her clothes, wearing her lipstick, sent a wave of nausea through me. "Uncle, I can explain." I grabbed his arm, my grip too tight. "What the hell is this?" His breath hitched. For a second, I thought he might bolt. Then his shoulders slumped in defeat. "She paid me," he whispered. The words hung between us, sharp as broken glass. "Who did?" But I already knew. "Aunt Sophia." He swallowed hard. "She said she needed me to pretend to be her, just for a few nights. She promised me tuition money." My mind reeled. Why would Sophia? Then the awful truth clicked. She needed an alibi. Daniel must have seen the realization dawn on my face because he flinched. "She made me swear not to tell you. She said it was just a harmless secret." Harmless. The word burned. Nothing about this was harmless. "Where is she?" My voice was dangerously calm. Daniel hesitated, his gaze darting to the window. "I don't know. She never told me. Just that she'd be back before dawn." A cold fury settled in my chest. All those nights I'd held her, kissed her. It had been him, and while I'd been fooled, Sophia had been. Where? With who? I released Daniel's arm, my hands shaking. "Get out of those clothes. Now." As he scrambled to obey, I paced, my thoughts racing. How long had this been going on? Was that really Sophia during the days? Or had Daniel been playing her part more than I realized? The more I questioned, the less I knew. Then Daniel spoke again, voice small. "There's something else." I stopped mid-step. "What?" He wouldn't meet my eyes. "The guy she's meeting, I think I know who it is." The air left my lungs. "Tell me." Daniel's next words shattered me. I heard her say his name on the phone. It's your brother, Uncle. Mark." The world tilted. Mark? My own brother? A memory flashed. Mark's smirk at our last family dinner. His hand lingering on Sophia's waist as he'd helped her with her coat. How had I missed it? I turned back to Daniel, my voice barely audible. "You're sure?" He nodded. Misery etched into his face. I had to find them. Now. But as I yanked open the front door, a new, terrible thought stopped me cold. The steering wheel burned beneath my grip as I sped through the empty streets, Daniel's words echoing in my skull like a curse. Mark, my brother, the man I'd trusted with every secret, every vulnerability, now stealing the one thing I couldn't replace. Rain began to patter against the windshield, blurring the streetlights into streaks of gold. I barely noticed. My entire world had narrowed to a single purpose: finding them. Mark's house loomed ahead, its windows dark except for a sliver of light in the upstairs bedroom. Their bedroom. My stomach twisted as I killed the engine, the silence suddenly deafening. I moved on instinct, no knock, no warning. The front door swung open with a shove, the wood splintering against the stop. The house smelled of sandalwood and sex, a sickening combination that made my pulse roar. Footsteps upstairs. A gasp. Then Sophia's voice, sharp with panic. "Someone's here." I took the stairs 2 at a time. The bedroom door stood ajar. Through the crack, I saw them. Mark shirtless on the rumpled sheets, Sophia scrambling for her robe, her hair tangled in a way that told me everything I didn't want to know. For a heartbeat, no one moved. Then Mark had the audacity to smirk. "Guess the jig's up." Something in me snapped. I was across the room before Sophia could scream, my fist connecting with Mark's jaw with a crack that reverberated up my arm. He staggered back, blood blooming at his lip, but his eyes stayed defiant. "How long?" My voice was raw, barely human. Sophia reached for me, her fingers trembling. "Please, let me explain." "Explain what?" I whirled on her. "How you've been fucking my brother while my nephew played dress-up. How you looked me in the eye every morning and lied." Her face crumpled. "I wanted to tell you." "Bullshit." The word tore from my throat. "You paid a kid to deceive me. You don't get to play the victim now." Mark wiped his mouth, his voice dripping with mock pity. "Come on, man. You really think she'd stay with you if she had a choice?" The air left my lungs. Sophia didn't deny it. She just stood there, tears streaking her mascara, her silence louder than any confession. I backed toward the door, my chest heaving. "Pack your things," I told her. "You're done here." Mark laughed. Actually laughed. As I turned to leave. "You always were terrible at sharing." I didn't look back. But as I hit the bottom step, my phone buzzed. Daniel's name flashed on the screen, followed by a single sentence that stopped me cold. "Uncle, you need to come home. Now." The drive home was a blur of rain and racing thoughts. Daniel's text pulsed in my mind like a warning beacon. What could possibly be worse than what I'd just witnessed? I found him in the living room, pacing like a caged animal. The wig and makeup were gone, replaced by the face of the scared kid I'd helped raise. His eyes locked onto mine, brimming with something worse than guilt. Fear. "You need to see this," he said, thrusting a phone into my hands. The screen showed a video, grainy, dark, but unmistakable. Sophia and Mark, but not in bed. They were arguing, voices hushed but vicious. Told you this was a mistake, Sophia hissed, her face contorted in a way I'd never seen. He's going to find out about the money. Mark grabbed her arm. Relax. By the time he realizes his accounts are empty, we'll be in Belize. The world tilted. This wasn't just an affair, it was a con. Daniel's voice cut through the static in my head. I recorded this last week when I got suspicious. I was going to tell you, but she threatened to. His voice broke. To say I came on to her if I talked. The pieces clicked with brutal clarity. The late nights, the secrecy, even Daniel's reluctant participation. They'd played us both. I sank onto the couch, the phone slipping from my fingers. All those years of trust reduced to this, a financial spreadsheet and a one-way ticket. What do we do? Daniel asked, looking more like a child than I'd seen him in years. I studied my nephew, really studied him. The kid who'd been manipulated just like me. The only person who'd tried to warn me. A cold calm settled over me. We beat them at their own game. Over the next hour, we worked with the precision of soldiers prepping for battle. Bank fraud alerts activated. Security footage secured. A carefully worded text sent to Sophia. Come home. We need to talk. When the door finally clicked open, Sophia entered alone. Her face a masterpiece of fake concern. Baby, I can explain. Save it, I said, nodding to Daniel. He hit play on the TV. The security feed from Mark's house filled the screen. Clear as day, in perfect HD. Their entire scheme laid bare. Sophia's face went sheet white. That's not what it looks like. It looks like felony fraud, I said calmly. And I've already forwarded everything to my lawyer. And the police. For the first time in our marriage, Sophia had nothing to say. Daniel and I watched as she fled into the night. Not to Mark, not to some tropical paradise, but to nowhere. Just another grifter who'd finally met her match. As the taillights disappeared, Daniel exhaled shakily. What now? I put an arm around his shoulders. Now we rebuild, starting with trusting each other. The first rays of dawn crept through the windows as we sat there. Two broken people, yes, but not defeated. Not yet. And somewhere out there, Sophia and Mark were learning the hardest lesson of all. Some betrayals, unlike money, can never be repaid.